When was the first time you heard about Bitcoin?
2013 or 2014?
Okay, so let's say 2014 you heard about Bitcoin. You didn't buy it.
Can you define what data sets are? Also, what are glitches in the matrix? And can somebody be a glitch in the matrix? How does that work? Because I know you talk about that a lot.
In the movie Wreck-It Ralph, the main character is this little girl, and she's a glitch in the game. She's not supposed to be there. She's an anomaly. The people in the game, they don't like her. But she understands that if she uses her glitch, she can actually take advantage of the game. This concept of being a glitch in the system is this idea of there's a program. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4 of how people should conduct themselves. A glitch operates outside the norms of the status quo. They forge their own path, they make their own decisions, and then the programming that they've been given, they glitch out of it. And new programming. And what's the new programming? The data sets. What is the data set? The new software that gets downloaded from the ether, the mushrooms, or whatever, into what? The hardware. So it's not just about the software, it's about the hardware and being able to understand that the software needs to be compatible with the software, hardware-software compatibility, mind-body. Every sage has talked about this. Aristotle talks about this. Plato talks about this. Miyamoto Musashi talks about this. Sun Tzu talks about this, the control of mind-body. So if you have the data sets of getting healthy, but you don't do anything with it, then did you truly unlock the data set, or were you just aware of a truth? You didn't really capture the truth. So data set is the download of the software into the software so that from the download of the software into the hardware so that it changes the hardware to the core so that the processing system of the machine is no longer the same, but it is upgraded. That is what it means to become a glitch. That is what it means to unlock data sets and become an anomaly.
So can you give me some examples of data sets? Like, how do people seek out data sets to help them level up financially or just in health-wise in many different ways?
When was the first time you heard about Bitcoin?
It was in I was 16.
Okay.
So what year was I in? Year 13? I don't know.
Ballpark it.
Oh, 2013 or 2014?
Okay, so let's say 2014 you heard about Bitcoin. You didn't buy it.
No, I didn't. Yeah.
You were given a data set. You didn't do anything with it.
Because I didn't trust the source, though. I remember
exactly because
me.
you didn't trust yourself.
No, I didn't trust the source.
You're the source.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
The scientific method. You need to put the data sets through a process to test whether they're true or not.
Right, and I didn't test it.
You didn't test it. You didn't test it. You just discarded it.
Yeah, I did.
It was a piece of information that's just neutral, but you had no mental framework to take it through. Therefore, you couldn't process that information because you didn't have the data set to process because your hardware was not compatible yet. So you received the information, you just weren't ready. But you can be ready by upgrading your hardware, which requires consistent, persistent, dedicated energy input so that you can upgrade. So that's kind of like you need to consume books. You need a network. You need to get involved with people. You need to develop hard skills. You need to learn how to sell. You need to learn how to interact with individuals. You need to learn how to balance a checkbook. You need to learn how to manage cash flow. You need to learn all these things. So it's a cumulative of life that allows you to capitalize on the data sets. So it's not just the information. It's the fact that you need to be compatible with that information in order to capitalize on it. And that is the mind-body connection for data sets.
So if you're not compatible with it, this is a ridiculous question thinking about it in my head before I say it out loud, but in some ways it's almost like it's not your fault if you're not ready to take in that information. But then again, it is your fault because you should continuously try to level
a duality.
up. There's
a duality. So the duality comes from ignorance is bliss. So you don't know that which you don't know. So I can't expect you to know that which you don't know. So I'm not going to judge you. Like people that don't have money and don't know about money, I can't judge you. Like I completely understand, brother. I didn't know shit. I'm just getting into the game myself. Okay. Like I got a couple $1 million under my belt. There's people that have billions. They know something that I don't. So under this concept that in some way, shape, or form, it is your fault because you are responsible for your life, even though I can't blame you, simultaneously, I can't blame you, but you have to blame yourself. So even though I can't judge you, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and self-judge and be like, why am I in this condition? And evaluate yourself through the scientific method and look at your action, look at cause and effect. Effect is I'm broke. Effect is I'm fat. Effect is nobody likes me. Effect is I'm not where my life wants to be. What is causing that state? And if you address the cause, and it's usually that's exactly, I think I commented on one of your tweets. You said, I think you mentioned these are the worst things in life. Like, I think like sin or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And you had mentioned like being transgender and
Vaccinated
whatever,
feminism.
whatever the list is of what somebody in their personal worldview considers not compatible to status quo or what they find to be normal. But is that the cause? Or is that the effect of the cause? Is there a universal cause that is causing humanity to be sick? And I believe yes. And it is a state of what? Unenlightenment. It's a state of not being able to separate truth from falsehood. That's all it is. The people that take certain actions in life that don't seem logical is because they're not living in truth. But I'm not going to judge them because they're not living in truth. Like, oh, a blind person expecting them to know where to go. I'm going to lead them with grace, with kindness, and understanding that maybe they don't know any better.
Yeah.
And Jesus said it best when they were about to stone the woman who had committed adultery. He wrote in the sand, he said, "He who is without sin, cast the first stone." Mm-hmm. And they all walked away because they were all guilty. Mm-hmm. So when you understand that you are like everybody else, that you are not above anybody, and that people really just need to be helped, then you understand that the symptom isn't all the things that are happening in society. That's just the effect. What is causing it? And that's kind of what I am focusing on addressing. And I think it comes with resetting the software, resetting the hardware, and just becoming a new person.
In terms of resetting software, it kind of leads me on to my next question, which is something that you said, which I thought was fascinating. Brokeism is a condition of the mind and not the pocket. So can you break this down for me and explain what can people do to retrain their brain so that, you know, they break out of that hardware and are able to sort of, you know, level up essentially and get out of that broke mindset?
The key to manifestation can be synthesized and boiled down to potentially one sentence by who I believe to be probably the greatest to ever walk the earth, which was Jesus. And he said, when you pray, believe that it has been given to you and it will be given to you. Not pray hoping that things will happen and then it'll happen. It's believe that it has already happened and it will happen. What does this mean? This means that how you position yourself, how you have a scarcity mindset about your future will dictate your future. If you live out of fear, you will have a future that yields that. Energy input equals energy output. But what if I'm always thinking, I'm a healthy person? I'm going to become healthy. I will. It's impossible not to. It is a natural law, cause and effect. It's like the law of gravity. If I go up to the top of this roof and I jump, I will not go up. I will go down. And it's the same with every other law. Same as the law of cause and effect. So when you have this kind of idea and this wrestling, and a lot of people have it, and I've had it myself, I think people should understand that their scarcity mindset or this idea of, you know, I don't have opportunity. I don't have network. I don't have money. I don't have. Well, if you have nothing, you have nothing to lose. So you better go for it. And it's that in that mindset of I have nothing to lose. I am wealthy. I have time, energy, and attention. And I already have that which I want to have. I just have to believe it to be true. And eventually time will catch up. That is how you evolve your mindset from scarcity to wealth. Because broke is not a condition of the pocket. It's truly a condition of the mind.